Hey, what's going on? It's Roger. So, as a previous video, I talked about this is my early 2000s diecast collection. I was really into the Japanese cars when they started building them to be, you know, interesting and body kits and whatnot. And at the time, as I said, I had two Civic hatchbacks, 280Z, Datsun 280Z, 280ZX. And so, Nissan 240SX, 87 Mazda RX-7. So I was really into getting Japanese cars, but the problem with Tomica, I mean not Tomica, Hot Wheels and Matchbox, they would they only had limited, So, um, in 2001 when I went to Japan, I looked for Tomicas as soon as I got to Yokohama. I went straight to the Toys R Us and looked at Tomicas. Now, let me say this: the internet back in 2000 was different, and so the information was very limited. Translation software and stuff like that was very very primitive, or didn't pull up as much. How I learned about Tomica was some of the people that had their web pages took pictures of Tomica cars, but they scaled the pictures down because back then you were limited to the speed of the internet was very limited. In Japan, they had I mode, so if you wanted to, or J mode or something like that. So their phones were a little bit different, but if you want to surf the internet, you had to have that option. But it was very, very not low tech, but it was very slow. And anyway, so everyone would scale the pictures down, and of course they weren't clear as you would find today. And so again, when I went there, I was looking for them, and I was just like blown away because I totally loved them. So I picked these up, and like I said at the time, even the regular ones, this was $7, which is about I don't know, that's regular too, $7 back in 2000, might have been a lot, compared to, I think they're like $4 nowadays, $4 or $5. Anyways, so let me just kind of show you the ones that I got, and I'm just super glad that I just totally forgot about them. But here's a 2000 Celica. Again, this was a new car back then, so I really loved it. Of course, being a Honda guy, I had to get an NSX. It's just one of those things that people really really awesome back then. It was like out of your range, and yeah, so it was just pretty cool. And of course, I love the detail, the red Honda and the NSX license plate. Of course, Skyline. Here's an R34 Skyline. This was like, obviously nowadays you can kind of look online and find stuff and whatnot, but back in 2000, that was like ultimate. And another one, an S2000. This was a new car back then, so I obviously had to get one, and for the collection, a Mazda Fd3s. This was also new in Japan, right? This is the 99 spec, because I remember the bumper lights was what was really cool and stuff like that. And of course, just like any other Japanese Japanese car fan back then, the Toyota Supra was awesome. And of course, these, maybe not the Celica, but add the 300ZX and maybe even a couple other cars, and you kind of have like the Japan supercars. So, but anyway, so yeah, that was an interesting, like when I first got it. I'm just glad that I have these. These were my originals from that era and from my 2001 trip. All right, later.